1001001001100. For those of you that don't know, that's high in binary. Welcome to Scale Developer Showcase. Now, am I telling the truth? Did I actually learn that, Manel, or did I lie?
I think you learned it because
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. I'm really proud.
Yeah.
I did. How you doing, man?
All good. Super exciting for today. We have incredible guests. So yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. For those of you who don't know, this is the Scale Developer Showcase where we bring forth partners and projects building on the Scale ecosystem to show you all and us as well what they're building, how they're building it, and why you should be excited. Now, our first guest is coming over from Primer, Mr. Joe. How are you doing, my friend?
Hi, guys. I'm good. Pleased to be here. How are you two?
All great. Super excited.
Good.
Yeah. My back's hurting, but yeah, not too bad. I need a new mattress, man. Well, Joe, why don't you give us a little introduction about yourself, Primer Systems, and what you're going to be showing us today?
Sure. So a bit of background on me. I've been in crypto since 2013. Seen a lot of things come and go, done a lot of things. I worked for a while as a CIO at a hedge fund, a crypto hedge fund. And through that, I started helping our portfolio companies in various ways. That became more and more full-time and then more than full-time. And I kind of gradually got into doing some dev work with them as well. And long story short, that's led me through to discovering X402 and some other things last summer and getting onto the track now. So Primer was launched in December, and it made use of certain technologies that I had seen as coming up and becoming important and looked really interesting to me last summer, X402 being quite new. I wanted to learn about it, say in August, September. And as usual, the best thing to do to learn about something is to try and build on it and figure it all out. So we built a facilitator, and my first thought with that back then was, oh, it's a bit limited, isn't it? Because it's pretty much only USDC or EIP 309 compliant tokens. As it happens, I no longer see that as a limitation. I think it's probably fine. But we decided to build a way to accept any ERC20 tokens through a kind of router contract that we now use called Prism. We did a few other things anyway, and then launched Primer officially in December. And we'll go into more detail about the exact product momentarily, I think.
Yeah. To be honest, I think your product is, first of all, is one of those that I still need to try myself, because I'm really excited. I really want to go really deep on your multi-core and all that sort of stuff, because it's different, and I think when there's something different out there, I think it's always it's good in the sense that you just didn't build whatever. You started by building like a facilitator. That's a lot of facilitators out there, right? But now you built a different thing, and I don't know if you're going to showcase multi-claw, but yeah, I really love your product.
Sure. Well, there's two of our main flagship products are Primer Pay and Multi-Claw. I think we could probably got time for a quick demo of each of them.
Absolutely.
They represent quite different sides of X402. So let's look at Primer Pay anyway, first of all, if I can share my screen. Here we go. You got that up?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
When we started thinking about what we could build, everyone's talking about X402 for agentics, which is all well and good, and we're a big believer in that. But we thought there was a bit of a gap in that no one was really addressing how X402 can be used by people as well. And if you stop and think for a moment how many different places we spend money online, it's probably best if you don't think about it really. There's all kinds of subscriptions and streaming and everything, as well as normal shopping. And I think X402 has huge potential there, actually. Really, after all these years in crypto, there is no really good, fast way to pay for things with it. There are services you can do, but it's cumbersome. It's very difficult for the merchants in particular to set up. Usually it involves some kind of a token conversion, and then they get fiat in their bank account, and there's quite high fees and so on, several percent, you know, on a par with cards and things. So we've built a browser extension for Chrome. It's on Chrome Web Store now. I've got it installed already, but you can find it on Chrome Web Store. I'll show you a little overview of it. Normally you would at this point set up your wallet in the usual way that you're familiar with, MetaMask and so on. Here's our balance on SKALE base. We've got 5 cents, which is sufficient for today. The settings here, we've got a per payment limit, $1 at the moment. I'll just up this daily limit to $1. We set it to auto pay, or you can have manual confirmation at different thresholds. Got your networks, domain, block list, and things like that. You can have an explorer of that if you like. So to test this out, because the internet is not yet full of X402 paywalls that humans can interact with, but we think it will be sooner or later, I've got a test paywall set up here on our website. So anyone can play with this. If we've got it, you can just put in your own address basically, and it'll loop your money back to you. So you can have a play with this. I'm going to disable Primer Pay first, okay? And then when we try to access his paid content, we get a 402, right? And that's it, dead end. You can't go any further.
Got it.
If we switch Primer Pay back on, with any luck, it will intercept the 402, process it, and there we get to the paid content. And we should see this transaction on your Block Explorer. There it is. I'll give you an example of what would happen if we fail somewhere. So let's set the daily limit to 1 cent. We've just spent 1 cent, so this should not go through anymore. There we get it's blocked. You exceeded your daily limit. So that's a simple example of what Primer Pay does. The main thing we're building in this kind of parts of our ecosystem next is the merchant side, which I think is sorely lacking, because you can set up an X402 paywall as a merchant, but it can be a little bit, it's not very straightforward. There's no like wizard really to do it. We want like simple plugins, WordPress kind of things. That's the kind of stuff we're building for this. And then that closes the circle basically on human interacting web browsing. So that's one side of things we're really interested in. Do you want to talk a bit about Primer Pay now, or should we move on to Multiclaw? Any questions on that?
It's very, very interesting. And like I said, you built different projects that I haven't seen it yet. That's why I like it so much. And I'm really excited to see where you'll like end up and how you're gonna approach the getting projects using you and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I would say let's move to Multiclaw. Yeah, I'll then make questions.
Sure. Okay, so Multiclaw is completely different. The origins of this. So we took part in your X402 hackathon a few weeks ago, which was fantastic. This was our submission. We called it an agent manifold, and after the hackathon, we developed it into Multiclaw as the full production version. We're close to release of V2. We're still going to use V1 for this demo because we're still ironing out a few creases. You can find it on GitHub. It runs on your desktop or USB. So it is an app, looks like this. I've already set up a lot of things. Of course, I've got a wallet set up. You can import keys, load keys, derive from seeds and things. First of all, we have spend policies, okay, the crucial part. And at this point, I should add why did we come up with this in the first place? Earlier this year, and I'm sure there'll be more examples of this, there were lots of quite public cases on X and so on of people losing money to misbehaving agents. And I'm not surprised, frankly. We use agents all the time for all kinds of things, and I think at this point they can't be trusted essentially for these kind of things. They are consumer products, right? They want to please you. They make money if you keep using them and renew your subscription, and they can be deceptive and sycophantic, and you can't really, if you say do not share my key, do not spend more than this, it doesn't really mean anything. We think you need hard separation, at least for now, between your keys and the agent. So multi-claw is designed to sit in the middle of your keys and your agents, low friction, but complete separation. So we'll set up a spend policy. Okay, we can just call it number 2. Choose your network. You've got a daily limit, per request limit. We'll set auto approve, and you've got a domain allow and block list as well. Then we register an agent. Now, an agent can be literally anything. This will work with any agent that you can communicate through by text, which is any agent. Okay, we're going to use standard Claude instance today.
Okay.
You register your agent. There's 2 different auth modes. We'll use a simple bearer token today to speed things up. And you get this code snippet that you're going to pass on to the agent. Click to register the agent. We're actually going to use a V2 version of that today for better performance. We're going to go to a new Claude instance here and just paste that snippet that I gave it. Now, you might think that's not much instructions for the agent. What we're actually running here is a local server with a full skill file and all the information the agent needs to get going. And he has his sort of security stuff, his token and things like that here. So while the agent gets started on the instructions, we have to commission the agent. So an agent starts life in an uncommissioned state. We commission it by attaching a spend policy and assigning address. At this point, we can generate an AP2 intent mandate as well, which was a key part of our hackathon submission. If we go to the, we'll come back to the mandates in just a moment. So Claude has figured this all out, and we're going to give him a paywall now. So I've got this is a different test paywall builder. We've set one up for 1 cent, and I've got a URL here. I'm just going to give him the URL, and he should figure out based on those instructions what to do with it. While we're waiting, I'll talk a bit about V2 if you like. The main difference, the main additions, we've added a console feature here, so you can interact kind of CLI, and there will be true CLI and headless modes as well.
So I really like this because, like, in the end of the day, multi-claw is like a control center where you can control and make sure, like, you control the agents, what they can do, what they can spend, right?
Yeah, exactly. You can connect hundreds of wallets, hundreds of agents, hundreds of policies in any combinations that you like, essentially. At the moment, it's X402 only. We're working on ways to expand that to non-X402 payments as well. Manual transfers, maybe DeFi things and everything like that. That's obviously a little bit more complex. The beauty of X402 is that it is so simple in a way, but multi-claw will be able to handle all manner of things like that. Here's the new transaction come through. So the agent has reported it's signed. He's going to go back to the paywall. Now I should add, we're using a stock Claude code, which is not really set up for this thing. Whatever agents people are running in particular, this can be made much more streamlined. We've got it set up to be quite verbose and quite interactive, which wouldn't be necessary in most situations. He's going to report the transaction as settled. Here it is. We can verify that. And I believe if we go to the Block Explorer, we'll see that one come up as well. There it is.
That's yeah.
Very nice, very nice.
One quick question that I didn't catch. How you set up the agent is like you pass what exactly how you set up the agent?
So when you register an agent,
yeah,
you just get this code snippet.
I got it. Okay.
And you just pass that to the agent, copy and paste. So what I said to Claude at the start here, this is literally all I said to him. So this is a completely fresh Claude with no no prior knowledge of what we're doing
Got it.
at all. You just paste this. It says, I've set up a local service called Multiclaw that I will interact with, a few other things. And then there's this local URL, which contains the full instructions, customized full instructions. So the agent reads that. He's got his credentials and things here. And that's all you need to do. You don't need to explain what X402 is or anything like that. It's all contained in this.
And
each time you get a unique config that you pass on.
Are those what I'm thinking now is like, when creating an agent, is it can I configure, like, can I adjust the agent context and like what the agent will look like for me, or is it like standardized?
So Multiclaw doesn't contain the agents itself. Okay, it's completely standalone. You can use this with any agent whatsoever. So whatever kind of agent you're running, whether I'm using just a stock Claude code for the demo, or if you've got an open Claw or anything else, any agent that has internet access and can understand
I can
text,
set up my own.
Will set up the controls that you have. So an agent, as far as Multiclaw is concerned, is basically a set of configs that you attach to whatever agent you want, and then corresponding spend policies and so on.
Got it. Yeah, just pretty amazing, to be honest. I'll for sure work on this, and then I'll talk. Do you have any like future plans, for instance, on the, I don't know if you've worked with already, like with 8004, like SKALE recently just launched 8004, the official contract for registry and reputation of agents. I'm not sure if you have any plans on that, or if it's something you look into it.
Yeah, when we launched, it was definitely on the cards. To be honest, we've become a lot more excited about X402, which I think is the more fertile building ground at the moment. We do have a few 8004 projects that we've put on hold for a little while. We really want to get Multiclaw and Primer Pay and its kind of accessory things up to scratch first of all. But there's a few 8004 things in the works, and of course they go hand in hand quite naturally. Multiclaw, we have a way, we've got AP2 mandates and things, which is a sort of a reputation thing, if you like, but 8004 connection with your agents would kind of work. This is for the user, the person who owns their agents to use. So if you're running an agent, you probably don't need to see it's 8004, right? So that's kind of more between your agent and the merchant in a way. In terms of other future plans, like we talk about Multiclaw and Primer Pay, we've been thinking a lot about multi-chain X402, which I know some of your existing partners are involved in, and how privacy can be used as well. Both of those kind of go hand in hand. We have some interesting larger plans for those.
That's very interesting that you say that I don't know if you have read about bytes and the encrypted transactions, and I'm not sure if I can talk about it, but like I'm not sure if it's about like the confidential token that we are launching.
Yeah, you can talk about it.
I wasn't sure. So yeah, I will launch ERC20 confidential token that uses byte. So yeah, that's something I think might interest you. But we can chat about that later.
Yeah, it's something we had to look into it. It was one of your tracks for the hackathon. We elected the AP2 track, of course, in the end. But yeah, I think byte's really interesting. Actually, it's something we'll definitely be trying to include.
That's great. That's all on my side for core.
No, it all looks really interesting. I guess like let's play a prediction game here. You know, we're talking about X402 and its potential use cases in the future. You know, how long estimate do you see until X402 is going to really start to take off?
Perhaps it already has. We're kind of in it. These things all come and go in waves a little bit, right? But I think this year is going to see multiple waves of X402 interest. A lot of it depends on the wider market and people's sentiment, right? How much they're excited about these things depends a lot on on prices and so on. But when X402 is what not 9 months old or something at the moment. It was like last summer. It kind of came out. So,
March,
right.
May.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe coming up to a year.
Yeah.
Which is incredible, really, and it's really taken off. It's got its own categories on CoinGecko and so on, and loads of people are building on it. I think it's a really attractive area. It uses these the unused HTTP code from the 90s, and it's such a pure, simple technology that I think it really appeals to a lot of different builders, and it's almost inevitable. I mean, we've got massive backing, got Cloudflare, AWS talking about it now. It's yeah, I think it's inevitable.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think it's just a matter of, like you already said, like we have the right companies backing it, and then if we get like that product that just unlocks like real usage. I was right now thinking, like, imagine that ChatGPT would have come out with, instead of like being that chatbot website, would be like a CLI. Like no one would use it apart from the devs, right? I think it's, if you get that user experience right using X402 with agents and just have them pay for resources that benefit the end user, I think, yeah, we'll just
that's an important general consideration. You know, as much as we as devs, we like building things that might be CLI and easy to use for certain situations. Having a nice, friendly graphical interface of some sort is going to be really important in getting wider appeal, which is something we've tried to do to our approaches.
Yep, absolutely.
Hell yeah. Well, Joe, really appreciate you taking the time to run us through Primer and everything you guys are doing. Anything further before we let you go?
No, I'm very happy. It's great to be here. I want to thank SKALE for your support before, during, and after the hackathon. Having worked across lots of different chains, dev support is generally ranging between okay to actively hostile, and SKALE has been really fantastic. So it's great that you know what you're focusing on being so similar to what we're working on, and the support you give to your devs has been really good. Looking forward to the rest of the show and what your other guests are doing.
Appreciate it. And if you want the hostility back, I can talk to Sawyer and get him grumpy.
Yeah, I want Latin.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Joe. And yeah, we're excited to keep on seeing what Primer's doing.
Excellent. Pleasure, guys. See you.
Have a good one, man. Goodbye. Oh, Manel's got the coughs. Manel is ill.
Sorry.
That was cool. I like that.
I told you. It's a different good. It's
right. Yeah. There's lots to definitely lots of like use cases which I like, and I think there's also lots of potential integration pieces with other projects, other partners, and things like that. So yeah,
I agree, and I think that these kind of things are important, like new things, even if it's not the thing that's gonna work, right? Like just generating ideas, building like this is not actually that will work. Is the thing on the side that maybe we need to just pivot a bit. I think it's very important for us, for the product, and for the whole space.
100%. So Manel, while we wait for our next guest to show up, why don't we actually touch a little bit more on conditional transactions, right? I think that could be an interesting topic just to quickly go over. Obviously, it's something that we haven't released to the public yet. Something we have spoken about. We had the hackathon on it, but why don't you give the peeps a little bit of an insight into conditional transactions?
Absolutely. So it's a super interesting thing that engineering, the SKALE engineer team built. So basically, I don't know if you already use it, but we have Byte V1, right? So basically, where it's possible to encrypt transactions. So when you are building a transaction, you can encrypt it on the client side and sending that encrypted transaction to the chain, and only when it's on consensus, it's decrypted, and then it gets on chain decrypted, right? And conditional transaction, what it does is it decrypts not on the consensus, but after a certain specific condition is met. So you can trigger that, basically that decryption on the transaction. That's a byte v2.
And so, like, let's talk use cases here, right? Like, what does this potential new tech really open up?
I mean, we still I mean, I'll talk about use cases, and maybe I will just say things right on the surface because there's so much potential. But we've seen a lot of different use cases on the hackathon. One of the things was like, imagine like a locker or vault. It really depends, but yeah, a vault, that's something you want to invest in and you don't want to be able to touch, right? So basically, you just have a vault, you make an investment there, you encrypt it, and just after a certain period of time, it gets decrypted and you get access to that vault, for instance. So, I mean, that's different things, to be honest.
Yeah. I think some of the things that could also be interesting is like, and I don't know if this is even possible, but like, obviously contracts are, I guess you could argue contracts were kind of a way to do conditional based things on the blockchain, right? I'm not talking about transactions, I'm just saying things, you know. But the issue with contracts are they can be, if the contracts haven't been like given up, they can be rewritten, right? You can change contracts of tokens and things like that. Upgradable contracts. While conditional transactions aren't going to be upgradable, are they?
That's a great question. I would say no. No, I would say no. But that's something to double check with.
Oh, whoops.
Oh no, I don't think so, to be honest.
I don't think so. I don't think so either, because then it's not really conditional anymore. Like you set up your conditions prior to the transaction, right? Exactly. And I think one of the things that is interesting is it kind of opens up this. Obviously, trust is something that is still scarce in the world of Web3. But when you have something that is baked in, that is 100% set in stone, you are kind of pulling away that sense of lack of trust, right? Mm-hmm. For example, you know who would really benefit from something like this is like a poly market or something like that, right? Where you have conditional based transactions. I guess, is there a way, this is like old scale school type stuff now, where I'd just be like, Sawyer, is this possible? And he's like, I don't know. Like, could you do external conditions to a conditional transaction?
What do you mean external conditions?
Let's say I wanted to do, hypothetically, if the S&P were to drop 5%, this transaction will execute.
Yes.
So I guess what it does is it opens up, real world use cases, right? It's not just on-chain related things. You can open up the possibilities.
Like I said, it's something that we probably is like we've built around basically the byte v1 and byte v2 was built around encryption and what we are able to do with the way the chain is set up, right?
Yeah.
Because the way the consensus works between the nodes and the way they sign each block, we're able to build that like with all the maths and cryptography around, so it's mathematical provable, decentralized, and so on and so on. So It's something that you don't get in all the things that they say they encrypt out there. So yeah, what I meant by this is like we've seen we've thought about certain situations that you might want to use conditional transactions, but probably, and we really hope that our devs come here and like think, okay, we can actually use it in a different way that we didn't think about it. So and just start. I think that's the good thing about hackathons. We've seen a lot of different use cases. I talked
Some
about
amazing projects coming out of the hackathon. Yeah.
I've talked about the Vault thing, but we have another one that basically, if I'm not mistaken, what it was is like it was a battle of AI, of agents making trades, something like that, and the trades they could get encrypted and just get decrypted at the end of like a certain period of time. So no one would be able to copy the trades, right? I think that's pretty cool, to be honest.
Yeah. No, agreed. Yeah, we've seen like lots of, stories coming out about, balances and things like that being, big issues at the moment.
And I think the beauty of this is that we are able to do this. We are only able to do this because we set up the chain in a specific way that other chains are not able to do. Ethereum is not able to do that. Polygon, I don't know, all the other chains, because at the end of the day, we have these leaderless nodes that, because the consensus was put in this specific way, we are able to sign the transaction and to create these. So basically, each node has shares a secret key that then signs the transaction and creates this. Is able to encrypt the transaction.
Yeah. No, incredible. And we've been yapping, you and me. Maybe it's time to let someone else yap.
Do you have it there? Perfect.
Yeah. Hello, fellow yapper.
Hello, you talking to me?
Hey,
I am. Hello, Julian. How you doing, man?
Good to see you guys. How are you?
Incredible. Now that you are here. Yeah, I was getting sick of Fucker. Yeah.
No, it's how
true.
most
That's
people.
That's not true.
Yes. And my wife said the same thing about 10 minutes after me waking up. So,
love it.
So Julian, why don't you give us a little introduction about yourself and Cred Protocol? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. So yeah, Julian Gay, founder and CEO of Cred Protocol, based in San Francisco. Yeah, Cred is it's an on-chain analytics platform focused on counterparty credit risk. So you could think of us as effectively a crypto credit bureau. So we monitor activity across 10 different blockchains, 30 different lending protocols. We developed the first predictive credit score, predictive of liquidation default delinquency. And so that our core mission is scaling trust and transparency in Web3. And that's essentially what credit worthiness is. It's like scalable trust. And that has taken us into the direction of the activity that we're monitoring could be produced by an individual, a business, a bot, or agent. So that's taken us into the kind of agentic reputation space. Is how do agents trust each other, trust they're going to receive the services that they think they're going to when they interact with another agent or a tool. And so the agentic kind of reputation goes hand in hand with agentic payments. So we're kind of moving from our kind of core kind of credit area, which is kind of focused on lending, into this kind of nascent agentic reputation area. And obviously SKALE is a great platform to do that on because of the one like millisecond kind of penalty, but also the free transactions, which are going to be needed when agents are looking up the reputation for all the other agents they're interacting with there when they're acting autonomously.
That's super cool. To be honest, now you were talking, and I was thinking, yeah, like this reputation and like makes total sense. And like, like for instance, I was talking with my girlfriend about buying a house and going to the bank and get a loan, and basically the bank just like reviews all of your history, reputation, whatever, and probably it's kind of the same, right? When you're handling with the money, you need to get the reputation and the credentials of the agent, or like the person, the wallet, whatever, that you are using it, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think particularly with agentic payments on the blockchain, because of that guaranteed finality, that there's no chargebacks. I know there's some stuff being worked on with escrows and things like that, but there's not really chargebacks like there are in TradFi. So if you're making a payment or requesting a service from another agent, you need to be pretty sure you're going to receive what you think you are, because otherwise you would have paid for it already. Particularly I'm talking about like X402. So yeah, reputation becomes kind of increasingly important in that context. But not just for the kind of trusting you're going to get what you think you're going to get, or the agent's going to get what it thinks it's going to get, but also kind of differentiating between different agents. I mean, if you've got different agents, different tools, maybe like translating a PDF, for example, there could be different levels of quality in that translation and at different price points, and they're all legitimate. It could be a premium service, it could be a lower end, but it's it does what it needs to do.
Absolutely.
You need to be able to differentiate that, or the agent needs to be able to differentiate that to make the appropriate choice when it's trying to get the outcome that it's focused on.
Absolutely. I'm super excited to get it to check your demo. Are you ready for that?
Well, so the agentic piece, that's super nascent. The demo I'm going to show is we've integrated SKALE to accept X402 payments for our kind of credit services. So that's what we have now. We've had for a few years that we're extending with these agent-specific reputation services, which are basically based on ERC 8004. So what I'm going to demo is I'll give a quick overview of the product just to kind of orient you guys, and then I'll show the SKALE kind of payments working.
Let's do it.
Cool. Let me share my screen. There we go. Okay. So this is the kind of present our how we present right now, which is around credit risk. There's different aspects to that. And essentially we're a suite of APIs. So if we take a look at the APIs, not super kind of compelling from a demo perspective, but these are basically kind of core credit bureau kind of API endpoints. You've got credit scoring, and so if I can check out Vitalik's credit score, basically, you can see that was like super quick request. That's actually we have a lot of like caching at various levels, but what we're doing is going on chain across 8 different blockchains in real time, pulling the activity for Vitalik and running that through our credit inference model to produce this score. So this is a live score. Literally, if there's a transaction in the next block, you run the score again. It should be different. It's kind of a live score, which is, it's a step. I mean, it's way better than traditional credit scoring, which is quite often delayed by weeks or months even.
What's the max value for the credit score?
So range is 300 to 1,000.
Okay.
which kind of maps to, if people are in the US, FICO is 300 to 850. So it kind of maps to that range. It's going to be kind of typically slightly higher. And then we've got the credit categories of excellent, very good, good, moderate, low, which again map to how people look at kind of consumer credit scores. So that's kind of intentional to kind of make, credit a bit more familiar for people, working with, traditional credit scores.
I didn't know about these credit scores. I've heard about, okay, makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know where you guys are based, but the US absolutely runs on credit scores on the personal finance level. You cannot do anything. You can't. I mean, you can't get a credit card, which means you can't rent a car. May mean you can't rent an apartment. In some cases, you might not be able to get a job. So credit scores in the US are incredibly important.
Okay.
You can't work in government if you have a low credit score.
Oh wow! Super.
Yeah.
In the UK.
In the US.
Ah, I did not know that. That's a new one.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's because you're open for bribery.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I mean, makes sense.
That's super cool.
So the thing that's behind that score is, this is the credit report, which basically, it's doing it right now. It's going to those 10 chains because it's not cash. You'll get a kind of realistic look on performance. And I use Vitalik as the kind of demo account, because that's basically the account that has one of the longest histories on chain. So if we can do it for Vitalik, we can do it for every address out there.
And what does it show in this report? Oh, okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's here. So literally that's Vitalik's account, or one of them. What it's showing is net worth. Well, one, age of the account 10 years. The last activity was 13 hours ago. So it's got some exponentials here. So net worth, let's say very high. Down in the past 24 hours. I think as we expect in the current markets. And not much borrowing and lending activity on this account, at least. I think some other aspects. I mean, we also look at identity attestations. So the reason we do this is, the higher number of attestations there, the more confident we are that this is a stable wallet. It's not going to be, it's not been just spun up. And one, it would obviously, not have existed for very long if it was just spun up. But also we have kind of higher proof of personhood, basically. So we do look at identity attestations. We look at asset breakdowns, percentiles across the whole spectrum of accounts. So is this in the top 90th percentile of activity? And then we have a breakdown of assets across the different chains. So the report is kind of very detailed. It's and that all drives into what results in a single number credit score. It's obviously a kind of blunt instrument, but it's based on this report.
I would love to discover now that sorry. I would just love to discover now that Vitalik was doing some transactions on Scale, but that's not the point.
Yeah, that'll be a good one to look into. So I mean, just to quickly kind of buzz through this and get through to the X402 demo. I mean, so you can also kind of do specialist endpoints. So this is just if you just want to look at the attestations. Part of the use case as well is kind of Sybil detection. How likely is it that this is a unique wallet with a genuine person behind it? And so we look at basically the graph of transactions. What has actually been spent on this wallet? So this kind of gives us a Sybil score, which is 0 to 100. So 100 would be highly likely as a Sybil. So the lower the better in this case. I just mentioned the transaction graph. I'll just give a quick kind of overview of that. So this, you can kind of select an address and you can see all the other addresses that this account has interacted with and the nature of those transactions. So, what were the tokens that were transacted? The use that we put this to, one, kind of detecting interactions with maybe bad actor wallets, which may, kind of taint the wallet we're actually looking at. Also, in certain clusters, you can see other addresses that are close to this one. So that means if they're at the center of this graph, it means they have very similar activity, which means they are most likely, or there's a probability it's the same beneficial owner. So we can kind of detect whether actually we're not necessarily seeing the whole picture. Someone said this is my wallet, but maybe they have other wallets. Ideally they disclose them. It's not us that kind of encourages people to disclose. It would be the protocols that build on top of us, which are lending protocols, identity protocols, wallets. So there's the graph aspect.
I think this is useful in so many different levels. Yeah. Firstly, I thought about lending protocols, like you said, but even for chains, for them to give away grants, right? In the sense that a project wants a grant and they just share the wallet for the grant piece, and then the project basically the chain wants to run sort of a QIC on the wallet, and it checks that that wallet is kind of sketchy through your cred, your platform, right? I think it's very, very useful because you can track and they do a QIC. Right?
Yeah, just along those lines, and to Falcor's point, there's a couple of scenarios there. One is looking at the wallets of the multi-sig signers of, say, a DAO or a project. How reputable are they? Do they have long-standing activity, or are they just fresh wallets with no activity? You would know nothing about them. So there's that, the multi-sig kind of reputation. And then I think the stuff you were talking about, Manuel, the kind of using reputation, creditworthiness as a filter for kind of airdrops, and are projects dropping or rewarding legitimate users versus farmers that just spun up a wallet. So although it is a use case, we haven't had too many interactions on the airdrop front. I guess maybe airdrops are a little bit out of fashion these days. But
could you also, sorry, my brain, I think it's I've tried your application, but now I'm getting more and more. Would it be possible to have a Chrome extension that would link to the user wallet? Because I'm just thinking that I work as on the DS team of SKALE, right? So I test a lot of projects that I integrate into SKALE, and I used burner wallets, but I got scammed 2 or 3 times. Not scammed in the sense that probably I was distracted. I signed something and my wallet got drained, right? Probably if I would have some sort of Chrome extension that would, when I was about to sign, would just tell me, would run some verification. I would pay for that verification, to a payment for that verification on the wallet or contract that I'm about to sign, right? And would tell me, okay, just be careful, these guys already drained some other wallets, or this kind of thing. I think it can be a really good use case. I would pay for that, to be honest, instead of getting stolen for 10 USDC or USDT. I would pay to just €1 USDC, right? I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, awesome use case. We are integrated with a couple of wallets, but it's not exactly that use case. It's slightly different, which is more around lenders being able to see who they are lending to. But it's a similar kind of scenario. They want to know, am I interacting with somebody kind of reputable? So we'd love to work with you on that use case.
Yeah, I think the other way around makes a lot of sense because, yeah, I mean, it's just like protecting yourself, like you protect against mav attacks, right? I think it's kind of the same. Not the same, but I think that the mindset is the same.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm cautious. We are at time.
Sorry, I got excited.
Yeah, tangents.
All right, let me show X42 payments on Scale then, just as a wrap up.
Yes.
Do you have time?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Julian.
All good, all good. Great conversation. I'll just plug this. Yeah, anybody can go and get their own score, score.credprotocol.com. You connect your wallet, you'll see your score. Only you see it, but it's a way of making this those API requests a bit more friendly. This is. Hold on, let me share my screen. So this is credprotocol.try/try. So you can try all those endpoints without having a credit account, and this is because we're integrated with Scale. So again, I'm gonna look up Vitalik's credit score. I'm gonna send a request. I receive a X402 message saying payment required. I'm gonna connect my wallet. I guess you partially see this on screen. Ooh, connection fail live demo. Try that again. All right, so I'm connected. So I'm going to switch to Scale. It's asking me to switch network, which I am. I'm going to pay. I'm going to make the payment. I'm just signing the request right now. It's pinging those endpoints. I'm not logged in on this, so this is like a live score. And there we go. I can see the receipt. I just made the payment on Scale, 0.01 cent, and I can see the transaction on the Scale Base Explorer. So that is Scale X42 payments working with Cred to quantify reputation at scale.
Amazing. No, I love it.
That's great.
And yeah, this is live, so anybody can go to the Cred protocol/try and make some requests, see your own credit score, see Vitalik's credit score, see his credit report.
Yeah. I already don't like looking at my real credit score. No, but Julian, thank you so much for hanging out. Really, really appreciate it. It looks like what you guys are building is really going to be able to help with the lending and borrowing, aspect of the Web3 crypto ecosystem. Before we let you go, anything further?
Yeah, I mean, well, just to plug, we're moving strongly into this agentic reputation space. So that's supporting ERC 8004. So if there are other agent builders out there that are looking to understand the interactions they have with other agents, we'd love to hear from them and build some great stuff together.
100%. Awesome, Julian. Thank you so much, and yeah, excited to see where Cred goes. Keeps on going.
Thanks for having me, guys.
It's a pleasure.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Well, Manel, episode 2, done and dusted.
It's done.
Yeah, some cool projects.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And yeah, we're gonna excited to continue learning about these, incredible builders. What about you, man? Anything else you want to say before we throw things away?
Yeah, just say just come visit Scale and the ecosystem, because check the Twitter page. We like you saw, we have a lot of different projects with amazing ideas, and this is just the beginning, right? So I think they are just at the surface of X42 payments, agentic payments, 8004, and I think in 3 months, 4 months, we'll have really, really incredible projects, big ones. Because for example, this guy Cred, the guys from Cred, they can when they start making the integrations in the right places, I think they can be huge, just like primer systems.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Alrighty. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in and joining us for another episode of the Scale Developer Showcase. We will be back in 2 weeks for a new set of incredible partners. We hope to see you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.